Hello everyone. So let me share my screen then start. So we'll go through today vulnerability assessment. We'll check see why it is important vulnerability assessment and what are the tools which are used, and then we will also see how we can integrate you can create your AI agents and integrate with these tools and which can assist or they can do some uh, assessment vulnerability assessment uh, and also help you in doing that. And also it can, and you can also create your own agents to analyze all those reports that you get with the traditional tool with those AI agents. So the main idea that we'll cover is why we do vulnerability assessment, what are the databases that you can consult for to get to stay updated on vulnerabilities that are found in well-known systems or operating systems. And then what is the vulnerability management life cycle? So we will go through that and understand different types of vulnerabilities and vulnerability assessment techniques. And then also vulnerability assessment solutions. And we'll try to understand also uh, how we can use agentic AI framework to perform vulnerability scanning. And also here there are two things: you can create your framework to which can assist in doing the vulnerability assessment, so you can connect with your uh, vulnerability assessment tools and it can help you in doing the assessment. We saw yesterday how that tool helped me to do the create the templates, email templates, and also landing pages and everything, and just I had to import that in the Go Fish. So on the same line of work, you can do it for the vulnerability assessment. And also what you can do, you can get the report by scanning, by doing the vulnerability scanning with the traditional tool. And then let's say if the report is huge, you can have your own framework, AI agents to analyze those and provide the contextual analysis. So the vulnerability assessment is the main idea is to scan the infrastructure to identify the security weakness. So network scanning that we do generally, the scanning part of reconnaissance is to collect the information about the systems, like what are the ports open, what are the services open. So we try to find those with scanning or reconnaissance. But with vulnerability assessment, we try to find the known security weakness in the system. If we know what is the weakness of our infrastructure or the operating system that we are using, if attackers get to know that, they can exploit those weakness to compromise your infrastructure. So that is the main purpose of attackers, to perform the vulnerability assessment, to try to find the loopholes or weakness in the system which they can use to get inside your infrastructure and extract confidential information or launch any ransomware attacks. So that is the main idea. And also from defender point of view, we should always do vulnerability assessment periodically. You can, if your organization has infrastructure and resources and budget, then they can do like on every 3 months, or at least like twice or once a year is definitely recommended. But with evolving these AI agents and framework, it is always recommended to do vulnerability assessment like at least twice or every 3 months. And also we should be uh, like follow the best practices. Like if you are updating any system, or let's say you issued a patch for the application that you are providing to your customers, you should always do vulnerability assessment before releasing that. You should check that. Or let's say in your organization you are updating, or you just got a new application and you are integrating it with the existing system, you should always check, perform the risk assessment, and also check what kind of weakness that it can introduce in your system. Maybe like your servers or database server was protected before, but maybe that application has exposed it to some other software which is publicly or facing public interface. So maybe your database can become vulnerable. So before integrating any new application with the existing systems, we should always do vulnerability assessment and see what attack surface that application can introduce in your infrastructure. If you will not do that, then that leads to weakness in your infrastructure which can be exploited by attackers. And yeah, that's what and also we should see if you got any third party applications, how it is integrating with your existing system, and whether it is introducing any new weakness in your infrastructure or not. So that is the purpose of vulnerability assessment, and we should do it periodically. And that is also best practices. If you do it whenever you introduce any new software, or you introduce a new patch, or maybe you are doing some configuration, we should always do vulnerability assessment. So vulnerability research is like a process where we analyze protocols, services, and configurations to find the vulnerabilities and any design flaws which can expose your infrastructure operating systems to attackers. So that is the purpose of vulnerability research. Like we always try to see, maybe we are using Windows 11 or Windows 10, and if we suddenly you saw on some public vulnerability database that Windows 11 has some vulnerabilities, so you should check that whether your operating system is updated with a patch or not. And if it is not, we should always try to first update the patch, because if vulnerability is already posted on some vulnerability database, then everybody knows about that vulnerability, and if you have not updated your system, then you are at risk of getting compromised. So that is the purpose of vulnerability research. Many organizations have their vulnerability assessment team or pen testing team, which they have resources there which always look for any vulnerabilities in the existing infrastructure. And also, like if you are a pen tester or a ethical hacker, you should always keep yourself updated with what are the new vulnerabilities in different kinds of system, like maybe Linux or Windows systems, and or well-known applications which are used frequently. So that is also like a job of pen testers and ethical hackers to stay updated about the new vulnerabilities that is published on some portals. And also when we scan the deep or dark websites, we can find like information about new vulnerabilities. Many times pen testers and ethical hackers, they check those dark webs to find any new vulnerabilities which are posted on some platforms. So that is like to stay updated with new vulnerabilities. And if you think that your organization is vulnerable to that new vulnerability which are posted somewhere, then you should always plan like what kind of countermeasures you can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. So these are the resources that are like online portals, and you can find information regarding the new vulnerabilities like Microsoft Vulnerability Research, Dark Reading. You can always find information about the new vulnerabilities, Security Trackers, Trend Micro. So all these are like resources for new vulnerabilities. And many a times what happens when any organization they find some vulnerabilities in some applications or anything. First they will contact the responsible organization for those applications, and they will let them know. And then many a times like organization, what they will do, they will first work on that vulnerabilities, and they will try to close it with some patch or and once the patch is available, then it is posted on publicly available portal where they provide that, yeah, this is the vulnerabilities in this application or maybe the operating system, and this is the patch. So always, most of the time, vulnerabilities when they are posted on these platforms, first companies they get the patch, and then they put it on the those portals. But these resources are really good. I mean, if you are working in security, you should know these portals, where you can find information about the new vulnerabilities. And it is also good when you are working in the organization as a security engineer or architect, that to stay updated about new vulnerabilities. And you should always like try to find the information from these portals and see if your organization is using some application or anything, and it has some vulnerabilities. Maybe let's say you are using Palo Alto firewall, and it has some vulnerabilities that in some version, and maybe you are using the same version. And if you find that on some public portal, then you should definitely consult your IT team or whoever manages your firewall, and try to get it patched. Otherwise, it exposes your organization to cyber attacks. So we already got some introduction, like, yeah, what vulnerability assessment is. So mainly we try to find like what are the weakness present in our system, and then we try to come up with the countermeasures. So that is also the purpose of vulnerability assessment. So it's not like you just identify the vulnerabilities if you are working as a pen tester, and just list those vulnerabilities and provide it to the organization. You should always come up with the countermeasures. What kind of countermeasures we can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities? So what we generally do in vulnerability assessment, we scan the network for like known security weakness. So how we can do that with the known security weakness? So many vulnerability assessment tools that you use, it synchronizes its database with these publicly available vulnerability repositories, and then they scan your system with those known security weakness or vulnerabilities with which it has synchronized. And then if it finds anything similar, then it will list that these are the vulnerabilities present in your infrastructure. So that is like how it works. So if so it will generally scan for known security weakness, and generally before doing any scan, once you install these tools, what it will do, it will first synchronize its vulnerability database with those publicly available portals, and then it will scan. So what it will do, it will identify, and then it will also prioritize, like maybe it will rank all those vulnerabilities in that it has found in the system. And then it's your job to discuss inside the organization with all the stakeholders to uh, see what vulnerabilities they would like to mitigate first, and then you need to allocate resources to that people who can work on those vulnerabilities and close those vulnerabilities in the organization. So it what it does generally, it helps in security architect or engineers to close the loopholes that are present in your system. And we should do it periodically, like always, like 3 months or 6 months, at least say, once in a 6 months. And many maybe like if you do it every 6 months, and if you have not updated your system in the last 6 months with any new applications, maybe you will not find a new vulnerability. But if you are using some known applications and somebody has found that, then you may not know if you are not doing it every 6 months or 3 months. So that's we should always plan according to our organizational setup, how frequent we should do it. But it is always recommended that we should do it at least twice a year. And then also it's not only about finding the vulnerabilities, but also work on those on closing those vulnerabilities. So what it will help us, like vulnerability scanners tool, it will identify which operating system version you are running, IP or transmission control protocol or UDP ports that are opened and listening, services which are running, and also applications which are installed on computers, whether it is using weak password, if accounts that we have, whether they are using weak passwords, and whether files and folders have a strong authorization or weak permissions. And then maybe like what are the default services or ports which are just open and it is not getting used. And maybe if we have some security configurations, security misconfigurations, or any error in some application, so it will identify that. And whether you are using tools or software which has already reached end of life. So if it has already reached end of life, then you should be careful in using those softwares, because maybe they are not maintained now any longer, they are not maintained, and then they expose you to some vulnerabilities which can be used by attackers to compromise your infrastructure. So there are different approach to vulnerability scanning. One is active and one is passive. So in the active scanning, what we do, we attackers interact with the target infrastructure to find the vulnerability. So what it will do, they will use some tool which will introduce some noise or traffic in the infrastructure, and then they will try to analyze and see what are the vulnerabilities present in the systems. So that is like active scanning, where they actively interact with the target organization. And then we have another one which is called passive scanning, where attacker just find the vulnerabilities without directly interacting with the target system or infrastructure. So maybe there are a lot of information which are available, so they will just find those. And also they will what they will do, they will just use some tools or even well-known tools, and they will just do a normal communication, not introducing any kind of malformed packets or malicious traffic to get some information. So what they will do, they will just do a normal communication with the servers, and then they will try to analyze those response from the target infrastructure, and see what kind of systems they are using, operating systems, applications, and what ports which are used in the communication. So they will analyze all those things without introducing any kind of malformed or packets in the infrastructure. So that is called passive scanning. So every tool, techniques also has some limitations. So vulnerability assessment, it also has some limitations. So the main limitation is like with the tool or the software, vulnerability scanning software that you are using, whether that is updated or not. So maybe it is able to find the vulnerabilities at a given point of time, and maybe later on it will not find. So also whether you are using the updated tool and whether you have updated the database of vulnerability assessment tool that you are using with new vulnerabilities. So you should always update the vulnerability scanning software database that you are using the tool, and synchronize it with the new vulnerabilities portals like MSR or others that we just saw, and then do the scanning. So that is always recommended. And if what it does, it will list generally the vulnerability assessment tools. It will list what are the vulnerabilities, W- but it will not let you know, or you cannot get the information regarding whether the security tools which are used by the organization, how strong or good they are. So that you cannot get through vulnerability assessment. So it all depends on like how good your vulnerability assessment tool is, whether they are whether it is updated with the new vulnerabilities or not. So that is really important actually. So that is like what it will do. It will give you also list of vulnerabilities, and then you should decide what kind of countermeasures that you should deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. Because if you are doing vulnerability scanning assessment for your client, and you just use some tools and just list all the vulnerabilities without providing any insight what they can do to close those vulnerabilities, then it is of no use. So that is also like in security, it's not only about tools that you know this tool and then just use that and get your work done. You should understand the whole fundamentals. Like if you find something like in the context of vulnerabilities, what type of countermeasures that you can effectively deploy. Maybe the countermeasures that you are suggesting, it's not very cost effective, it's out of budget for that for your client. So in those cases, you should have if you have a very good fundamentals and understanding, and you have broad knowledge, then you can come up with some other security controls or ways to mitigate those vulnerabilities. So that is also like you should do cost benefit analysis. You cannot deploy a tool which costs like 500K to a small size company. So they will not pay for that. So if you just did do a vulnerability assessment and propose that to mitigate that vulnerability, we will use this tool which costs 500,000. They are they will not buy those tools. So you should have a very good understanding, like to discuss with all the stakeholders what they are looking for, and then come up with the countermeasures which is in their budget and which is also effective. It should not expose their infrastructure to weakness. So that is also like you should have a full understanding and fundamentals to uh, provide those countermeasures. So it's not only about this tool and just to execute that tool and come up with the vulnerabilities. So these vulnerability scoring system and databases, what they do, they will have, let's say, some vulnerabilities. So they will provide some rank and to those vulnerabilities which used by security analysts actually. And those are like a score which will provide like what is the overall severity of that vulnerabilities and what are the risks associated with identified vulnerabilities. And that is really helpful, like to understand, yeah, what impact that these vulnerabilities can cause, and also what are the risks associated related with these identified vulnerabilities, how it can impact. So these vulnerability scoring system and databases in like all those composite score and with the rank, it is really helpful. So what these databases generally do, they will collect and maintain the information about a lot of different vulnerabilities present in different kinds of system, like maybe Palo Alto firewall or Cisco switches, or maybe intrusion detection systems provided by well-known vendors. So and also like operating system. So it will collect and maintain information about different vulnerabilities. So these are some common vulnerability scoring system. So you can Google it, like common vulnerability scoring system, CVSS, CVE, National Vulnerability Database, Common Weakness. So these are the different vulnerability scoring systems and databases which are very well known. And whenever you are using the tool for doing the vulnerability assessment, you should always first update your the database of that vulnerability assessment tools with the new vulnerabilities, and then you should perform this vulnerability scanning. So it is also important to understand what is the life cycle of vulnerability management. So how you will do that, and if you know the life cycle, then yeah, you will know the whole process for doing the vulnerability assessment. It's not like, yeah, I got to know from ChatGPT this tool, and then yeah, just run that and it will work. So it's not like that. You need to understand the fundamentals. So first thing is like whenever you are going to do these kind of vulnerability assessment, first you discuss with all the stakeholders in the organization, and maybe you will sign the non-disclosure agreement that will state that yeah, whatever vulnerabilities you will find, you are not going to reveal or disclose it to others, third party. So it will be between the organization and between you. So even that is the non-disclosure agreement. And then what you will do, first you will discuss with all the stakeholders and identify what are the assets that they have, and on which assets they would like to do vulnerability assessment. So maybe they would not like to go for the entire infrastructure, so maybe they are doing it for one particular domain, like maybe HR systems, or maybe developer systems. So anything, it can be anything. So you should discuss with all the stakeholders and then identify the assets and set the baseline for vulnerability management. And then in the second step, maybe you have the team of security analysts who will perform vulnerability scanning on those identified assets. So you will first list all those assets, and you will also try to identify how they are connected and everything. And then the expert that you have expertise, so you will use that and perform the vulnerability scanning and come up with the list of vulnerabilities. And then what you will do, you will also assess the risk. So like what are the risk of these vulnerabilities. And you might have done vulnerability assessment on let's say Palo Alto firewall or some and Dell server. So and you have identified some vulnerabilities, and so you will also summarize those, and also what kind of risk that it introduce in the infrastructure. So all those things you will do the assessment in the when you are doing the risk assessment, like if this is the vulnerabilities which is present in my firewall and maybe some switches, and then what kind of vulnerabilities, like what kind of impact it can cause. So all those things we'll do in the risk assessment. And then we come up with the countermeasures. So that is like remediation. So you first you identify the weakness, and then you see how those weakness can be compromised from attackers perspective, and then come up with the like also what kind of impact that it can cause in my infrastructure. And then you come up with the countermeasures, like countermeasures that we can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. And that should be very cost effective, because a lot of organizations, they don't want to invest a lot on security until they are compromised. And because maybe they are that is not the main business of those organizations, so they are doing something else, and they would like to allocate some part of the budget to make sure that their operations are secured, and whatever business they are doing, it is secure. So you should always come up with the cost effective solutions which they can use to mitigate the vulnerabilities. And then once those countermeasures you have deployed, then again you need to verify that whether if you do the scan again, whether that those vulnerabilities are getting listed or not. So whether they have been, even if they have been deployed, but they have not been like configured properly. So a lot of time uh, we have the weakness or vulnerabilities present in our system because of misconfigurations. So if it has not been configured properly, then it will cause some it will be still listed. So we should verify whether the countermeasures which we have deployed, it is working or not. So it is if the vulnerability is not getting listed, so that means it is working. And then we should always have monitoring infrastructure in the organization in place, which will like do regular monitoring to just see that what are maybe cyber attackers, they are doing some scan, like intermittent scan, at some point of time, maybe again after some break again they are doing that. So maybe it can be any activity. So we should have intrusion detection system, prevention system, and firewalls in place to keep monitoring these kind of activities. So that is like a whole vulnerability management life cycle. So that is also good to know actually and understand it properly, because maybe when you are doing any vulnerability scanning, let's say you are a part of security team who which are responsible, which is responsible for doing the vulnerability scanning, vulnerability assessment. So if you understand this life cycle, then it will be helpful also when you are creating the report, and whether you are following all the steps, stages of this vulnerability management life cycle or not. Because in your report, everything should be well documented. So if you just use a tool and identified vulnerabilities, but all those things are not properly documented in a report, then that is of no use. Nobody will remember anything if you will say that, yeah, this vulnerability is present in your infrastructure. So you should always have a proper understanding, and you should follow the proper process to also make the whole documentation complete with identified assets, what vulnerability scanning you performed, and then what is vulnerabilities you identified, and with all those score, and how it can impact the infrastructure. Then what are the countermeasures which we can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. And then you should always also recheck and write in your report that we again verified that and it was working properly. And then you should also have a proper section on monitoring whether at what locations intrusion detection system, prevention system, or firewalls can prevent those kind of vulnerabilities. So that is like everything should be properly documented. Because let's say again after 6 months organization is going for vulnerability assessment, or let's say after 1 year. So what happened last time in the vulnerability assessment, whether everything is all those remediation or suggested countermeasures have been properly deployed or not, and who was responsible for that. So everything should be properly documented. so that when they will go for the next time, they will know everything now, at what stage now they are as compared to last year. So these are the vulnerability assessment phase, like steps involved in the assessment phase. Like first, maybe you will evaluate and see the physical security. If it is like a data center where you have the servers and everything, so you should always check the physical security of that place, whether it is properly secured or not with physical security. Then we should also check for misconfigurations or any human error which can be present. So, due to misconfiguration, a lot of times attack happens, or because of human error. And then you should use vulnerability scanning tools to identify. And also, it is good to know which kind of tools you are going to use. So, you should have a proper understanding of a couple of tools. And then also identify or select the type of scan that you are going to do for that particular organization. And if you have identified the vulnerabilities when you perform the scan and you suggested the countermeasures, you should also suggest like what they can do to comply with some cybersecurity standards. And then we should identify and of course prioritize the vulnerabilities. Let's say you have identified 20 vulnerabilities or 15 vulnerabilities in 3 to 4 assets. So maybe it will take some time to close those vulnerabilities. So what you will do, you will prioritize in your organization. So you will discuss with different asset owners in your organization and prioritize that, and along with your manager or senior manager. And then you will select, yeah, these are the low hanging fruits which we can close it quickly. So you will do that first. And then which are the vulnerabilities which are like important, also very critical, because if it is open and not closed, then it can cause damage if our infrastructure is compromised, or if attackers come to know about those vulnerabilities. So that's why we should prioritize those vulnerabilities. And also in your organization, we should assign people with different tasks to close different vulnerabilities. And also we should track that whether like what is the progress, and if they are facing any challenges, then maybe we need to assign more resources. So everything like we should follow the complete process, and then identify false positives or false negatives. So in case of vulnerability assessment, yeah, we should check that maybe tool has listed some vulnerabilities which is not present or something. So we should check that and apply the business and technology context to scanner results. So you might have got 15 or 20 or 25 vulnerabilities. So maybe everything is not very important. So let's say if it is some SCADA systems, and you found that uh, information that are exchanged between engineering workstations and HMI system, it is not it is not properly encrypted. So maybe encryption or confidentiality of the data is not very important for those kind of systems. The main purpose is to keep the system available and running all the time. So even if somebody find any communication between those kind of systems which are information are not well encrypted, it doesn't matter until those systems are running, because that is the main purpose. So that's why we should also always understand the business and technology context, and then come up with the countermeasures. And then we should always create a proper vulnerability scan report. So now we will discuss and see how agentic AI can be helpful in that. So, as you know, with agentic platform tools, what we can do, it can orchestrate, and also you can have AI agents doing the scanning and providing the countermeasures on their own. but also we should be in control when we are doing scanning using these AI agents. So we should be under control, and we should have proper privilege for those AI agents. So it should not, if you have doing the scanning using these AI agents, it should not scan the entire infrastructure. For instance, it should not go beyond its privilege. So everything should be well, it should be set properly. And but you can definitely use it to be as an assistant in doing the vulnerability scanning, and it can be very helpful. And also what you can do, you can use the traditional tools, and then get the report, and then analyze all the report with along and for contextual analysis, and getting the countermeasures with these AI agents. So that is really nice to have with along with the traditional vulnerability scanning tools. So what we can have in our agentic based vulnerability scanning tool, like we can have an agent orchestrator which orchestrate all the activities. And then we have the discovery and scanning agents, which what it will do, it will identify the assets and the link, and also collect all the data for so maybe it has identified, like, yeah, we have to do scanning on firewall and some servers. So it will identify those assets, and then scan and then collect the data. And then what we can have another agent like threat intelligence agent, which will, like, once we have identified, collected the data, maybe it will synchronize it with some well-known vulnerability scoring systems, and find that whether these kind of things are already present. And then what you can have your AI analysis agent, which will use its reasoning to prioritize and contextualize all those vulnerabilities. And also it will tell you like what attack path attackers can use to compromise your infrastructure. So, and then it will come up with the countermeasures, some countermeasures that you can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. And then of course once it has the feedback and everything, those things will improve. So that is the very basic framework for agentic based vulnerability scanning. So these are the well-known traditional vulnerabilities assessment tools like Nessus. It has some free trial, but it's not completely free. Like OpenVAS, which is completely free open source vulnerability assessment tool. Then JFI Langard, this is also a tool, but this is also not completely free. So then this is OpenVAS tool which you can use. You can easily install it in your Kali machine. And what you can do, you can set the target. Let's say you are trying to scan, and everything you should do it inside your controlled environment, inside your virtual box. Don't do it on external system or servers, because if you are doing anything like vulnerability assessment, and if it maybe it can cause some problem if you are doing it on external systems or servers. So you should always avoid that. You should set your own home lab in your machine, and then do these kind of activities. So this is a general dashboard of OpenVAS. And you can see, you can set the target. Let's say I have set the target for my Windows virtual machine, and then it will scan, and it will list all those vulnerabilities. So you can find the report and analyze it. Also you can export those reports, and then maybe you can provide it to large language models that you are using, and analyze, get all the contextual analysis. So this is just a way to set the target. And you can also provide your loopback address and just run it. And here you just need to provide the IP address of your target machine, and then you can perform the scan, and it will then analyze it and provide all the analysis. And then what you can do, you can also export those scan results in the PDF document. And then you can use some large language models also to get the insight about those vulnerabilities, how it can be used by attackers to compromise the infrastructure, and also what are the countermeasures that we can deploy to mitigate those vulnerabilities. So here you see I just did it on Meta. And the best thing is also, when you are using this tool, you can use Metasploitable, which is already has a lot of vulnerabilities. So it is purposely designed for doing the vulnerability assessment, to learn the vulnerability assessment. So Metasploitable 2 you can download. Metasploitable 3 is also available, but you will have to create your VM for that. Metasploitable 2 is easy to download, and just you need to import in your virtual box, and you can use that. And it will give you a lot of when you will scan, you will find a lot of vulnerabilities. So that has been designed in that way, to see what kind of vulnerabilities can be present. Like here you can see operating system end of life detection, that OpenVAS has detected multiple RCE vulnerabilities. Remote login, passwordless login is there. Then REXEX services running, some possible backdoor is also possible. So all those things, and along with the protocol and port, so which are getting utilized, so everything it will provide. So Nessus is another tool which you can use, but it is not completely free. So I would suggest just master one tool, OpenVAS, and maybe when you are working in an organization, and you are working as a pen tester, then maybe you can use these other tools. So, but I guess it has some free limit, which you can use it. So, but I will suggest to use OpenVAS. So let's take a look on how you can run the scripts to analyze and connect it with the OpenVAS and scan it. So let me start my Windows VM. It's running. So you can check your OpenVAS whether it is installed or not. So you can go here in your Kali machine. If you are seeing the terminal, so you can go and check your applications, and maybe you can check these resource deployment, initial access. Generally, it is present, but maybe you will have to install it if it is not there. And it is very easy to install since I have already installed, but maybe going here. Anyways, but you can find it there. So it is very easy to install OpenVAS. So it is already running. So what you can do once it is already running to start it, I'm not going to do that because it is already there. So this is the command that you can type sudo gvm start and just hit enter and it will start. And then it will give you like here you can see, let me show you. It will give you a link like here you can see opening UI, web UI. So it will give you this link and you can just click that and you can open the open vas. And then it will give you the credentials and which you can use, and you can change that also. So this is the dashboard that it will look like. And now I already have connected I have a script. What it will do, it will when I will run it, it will scan, it will connect with the OpenVAS, and it is just a basic analysis that it will do. Of course, you can devote time and make it more correct. So it will analyze for the open ports and protocols and what are the services running, and then it will give the criticalities. So those kind of things it will do. So let me show you what you can. So I have two scripts. One is like what it will do. It will do the scanning, and another one which what it will do. It will analyze the results that a scanner agent provides, and then it will provide the assessment. So it is just a basic thing to show how we can use AI agents to do that. So, and then what I have done, I have just created a bash script which is running that. And this is the IP address of my Windows machine. So you can just hit enter. And what here I'm using Claude LLM to get it connected and do the analysis. So let's go here. So it will provide like this is one of the report that it will provide. So this is just a very basic. So it has detected SSH, detected hardened authentication. So it is providing SMB port 445 is open. So it is suggesting patch this one large attack surface. So apply network segmentation. So that is a strategic recommendation, and establish a monthly like patch. And then these are the ports, discovered ports which are open. See what it has. So this is also just the providing the services and some connection failed. So if we can check that, and maybe we need to retry it and it will get connected easily. So that is with the open vas. So you can create your AI agents and connect it with the open vas tool to perform the scanning, and then get the result, and it will analyze it. You have another agent which can analyze. And also what you can do here, let me see, not this one. So you can also create here the new task and name it is not here. Let's do this one. Yeah, here what you can do, it will take some time. So is it this one? I guess yes. Yeah, it says new. So yeah, it will take some time to, yeah, no, this one. This is the interrupted at 0%. So let's check the connectivity. I think it is connected. So also check the connectivity with your, so yeah, it is connected. So it takes some time to scan. So what you can also do, you can use the traditional tool, uh, and which will do the scanning, and then get the results and analyze it using LLM. And also you can create your own AI agents if and try to get it connected with this tool and then perform the scanning, and then also get the scan results. That can be a bit complicated, but yeah, it is possible. And also let me share, also there are some tools which are publicly available, which also you can check. Of course they are difficult, like it will take some time to configure those tools. I mean, after downloading and installing, it requires a lot of configuration. So there are, I don't remember, I'm just typing and checking whether, yeah, CAI. So you can also check this tool. It is a very comprehensive tool, and try to uh, like use this. It is slow because you can use this CAI tool, which is very good. I mean, uh, you need to install and configure it. It can take some time, but it has different AI models that you can use, and you can also read their resources. They have published a lot of papers, and also white papers are also there, so you can go through this one. It is a really good to investigate. So you can see there are a lot of papers on archive, so you can go and read that, and used that in your controlled environment and see how it is working. And that is a very good to also good way to learn. And they support different AI models also. And I think they also have some tools for deepfake detection or something. So just check that, explore this one. It is a very good tool actually. So they have been developing for past couple of years. So that is a nice, and it is well maintained. So you can use this one.
But
So
basically,
let me know.
will you open
Sorry.
one paper that you show in this they published and show little bit our students? Yes, some paper like let me see
Yeah,
benchmark.
let's see.
Okay, this is suppose evaluating agenting cybersecurity and attack defense. Okay, or this one cybersecurity and hacking and via prompt. Yes, this that was also good. Okay, then that paper will you describe something that how they are using okay these AI agents to map
I have
this.
to. I have not gone through these papers. So,
Okay,
but I yeah
something there are
yeah
some yes, right, because the students are going to do some assignment. Okay,
yeah
they may find out some interesting works or they may
yeah.
um, evaluate these things on their machine and tell us
Yes.
what they learn.
This is they have a very nice resources like hacking the AI hackers via prompt injection. So they can read these papers, and that can give a very nice understanding like what they are doing, and what they have done, and with their tools also what we can do. Actually, maybe we can do some different simulations and do some other work. But yeah, they have good resources here. Let's check this one. So a framework for cybersecurity AI fluency. So I guess they have proposed here a framework. Closed source is not on why framework. Automation. So I guess they are providing information like for what kind of activities uh, they are working to, or they have developed some tools like recognitions automation, that scanning, log analysis, report generation. Also, like checking for routine security tasks like for password policy check, basic compliance validation, like whether our systems are system comply with the cybersecurity standards. And also they are have the framework for AI and human collaboration, for doing the vulnerability assessment, joint evaluation of security weakness through CI specialized assessment agents, incident response. Also they have the real time collaboration during security incident using CI. So they have this tool actually, and they have a lot of different tools or the under CAI framework that they have proposed. They have tools to perform different kinds of activities like scanning, log analysis, threat hunting, vulnerability assessment, incident response. Also for monitoring and adaptive defense, they have the components. So it will be good to read these framework and see what they are doing, and what we can do with their tools, or maybe we can come up with our own.
Yeah, they develop an entire tool. Okay, lots of
Yeah,
AI agents are there.
yeah,
Okay, but since our students is going to do some assignment, okay, that's why no need to do such kind of complex things. Okay,
yeah, yeah. What?
only few agents may require. Suppose
Yes.
you explain in
Mm,
your session that some script you have written, and
yeah,
AI agency is going to trace the network and then going to analyze
yeah,
the things. Okay.
yeah.
Uh, uh, if possible, you may explain how our students will write the simple AI agent code that is going to use the
I
tool.
will. I have uploaded some on GitHub here.
Okay, because they are little bit confused that how they will use Kali Linux or anything using AI agents. Okay.
So for Khalil, like in what you can do, let me show. So yesterday I showed that what you can do, you can install Olama. It is very easy. Like here, let me show in the. Can install like download Olama and then install it. And also let me show. I guess it is closed now. So in my case, it is already installed. So uh, there are some tutorials which I can share on installing Olama on your Kali machine, or also what you can do. For instance, let me show, which will be easy instead of
Okay, I think
using.
they will install Olama. It's easy. Okay, after that,
Yeah,
what they will do so that they can use Kali Linux or other tool to scan the network and then analyze.
let me show one example here. So this is like a simple scanning that this script will do. So
And
what it
also
will do?
for a student,
Yeah,
Korisika is also showing you some script. Okay, but no need to write by yourself. If you know that what you want to do, what you
yes,
want from the platform, then you write these things on prompt. Any LLM tool prompt that I want to
yeah.
scan for this kind of, they will give you. Okay, do not
Yeah,
scared about that.
that's why I mean we that's why it is important to like understand the fundamentals of security and like what kind of task that you want to do. And getting these codes is nowadays it's not difficult. You can write a prompt and get the code. For instance, you can just ask Claude or GPT to give the like a script. What you can do, you can provide the context. For instance, let's say you have the Kali machine installed on your virtual box and Windows machine. You can provide the context that I'm doing. I want to do a simple scan in my controlled environment, and connect it with the OpenVAS tool or Nmap. And also I want to analyze those results with AI agents or any LLM. So it will give the script, and then and also it will tell you step all the steps. So it's very easy actually. So you can get those scripts, and what it will do, you will just need a API key. It will ask you to use the API key. So I'm using Claude. So I have put the API key from Anthropic in this one, and it connects with the OpenVAS, and then it will perform the simple scanning and it will, as I showed, it will list all the open ports and services and other weakness, and then it will have another agent which will just analyze all those results, and it will provide a contextual analysis of that. So this is just a very basic task that you can do. And it doesn't require, like, even you don't need to install Olama. You can just get the Anthropic API key or GPT key, and just provide the key in the script. And even you don't need to provide it in the script. You can just set it in the particular session. So you can just put it like export, and then provide the Anthropic key or GPT, and then just run the script after that. And then once you perform the scan, and results are collected, then it will scan. So what I have done, so this is one script, like you saw, just which will scan the infrastructure. And then another, let me show you. So this is another script which I have, which will just analyze all the results. And it is very easy. Like, you can write a prompt, and like Claude or GPT will provide that. And then it will ask you to like use the its API key. But yeah, don't put it in the code. I have also not put it in the code. It's just like for requires, I have added that. You can set it in your terminal session for that particular session. And then you can see that these are the only two scripts. So one is like doing the scanning, and it will scan, and then one will analyze it. So it will use it is using Claude, this model, Claude's Sonnet 4, to analyze all the results. And then what you can do, you don't need to run these scripts one by one. So what you can do here, let me show. Yeah. So this is a bash script. So you can just ask Claude or GPT that you are using to provide a bash script, so that you will just run this one, and it will run your two scripts, like scanner and analyzer script, and it will provide all the results. And then you see that here I have another folder in which all the results are getting saved. And then you can open it. So it is very basic, so simple. So you can then use it and analyze it. So that will give you a very fundamental understanding how it works. So it is not very difficult. I mean, you don't need to install and configure also, like install Olama, and then install like pull other models. Just use the API key initially. That will be basic, I mean, easy to use. And then run the two scripts. So just ask, you can ask Claude or GPT to provide a script. So first, provide all the context, like install Kali and Windows VM. So as you can see, I have Kali and Windows installed here, and it is running. So provide all the context, otherwise it will not give you that. You can just mention that I'm doing it in my control environment in the virtual box, and I want a scanner script which will scan for open ports, services. So, and you can also mention that I want to perform a scanning like open VAS, and it will give you the script. And then you also mentioned that, yeah, and also provide me a script which will analyze all the results uh, done by a scanner agent. And then it will provide you the script, and then ask it to provide the bash script, which I just showed. And you just run the bash script, and it will be just easy to get all the analysis. So that is very basic. And what you can also do, just I hope, like, yeah, you know this one, like you can also change the bash script with, like, make it executable, and then just run with sudo bash, and it will run it automatically. So that is very easy. You can just use Claude or GPT to get these scripts, and just perform, but provide the context that you are using inside your virtual box and in your controlled environment. Otherwise, it will not give you these scripts.
Okay,
So
another
because
question is
it
that
is,
Yes, yeah. Where did you store these scripts? Is there a particular folder or any folder the student will store and then run?
In the Kali, what you can do just here, it is
Okay,
inside
okay.
the like
And a student,
home.
and for a student, please see it and ask questions. I am asking question on behalf of you. Okay, silly question. You will also ask such question that you can run because now you are going to do some assignment. Okay. If you have any question,
So
please ask. Okay, do not keep
yeah,
quiet.
if
Yes.
yeah,
Now you
here
don't
what you
have
can
any question, a
do,
student will ask question.
You can unmute. You can unmute and you can ask. Okay.
so what you can do, you can save it, create a folder like in the Kali here. This is the home directory. You can also do it on the desktop, so it's not a problem. Generally do it inside the Kali, which is the home folder. So if you just open the terminal here, see what it shows. Just wait. So see Kali. So just store, create the directory here and store the script. So as you can see here, I have this folder, Agentic AI vulnerability scanner, and then everything. Oh, and then everything is like inside that. Any question here? I don't know why.
Okay, good. Any question from a student side? Please ask.
Sir, uh,
Yeah,
sir, when I'm
yeah.
trying
Go
to
ahead.
implement, sir, you talked about a multi-agent cybersecurity attack system. So, sir, when I'm trying to implement it, it's saying me that that scanning a real website for vulnerabilities means that feature which I want to add, it crosses a line, crosses a clear line regardless of how it's framed, and thus I can't get any results from it.
Can you write
So,
the
sir,
question
how
because
is
it
that?
is a long question? Then it will be easy to follow up. And
Okay, sir, I'm just typing.
provide the context. Yeah,
Okay, sir, I'm just
yeah. Just
sharing it directly.
yeah, paste it here.
Yes, sir.
Then yeah, it will be easy to follow. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Uh, this is not something I can add to the feature you are
I
describing.
wrote the base code, sir, but when I'm trying to add this feature, because I'm not that much able to write this part. So when I asked it to write, means the LLM to write it, to add this feature to my code, main code. So this is the response it's giving, and I can't add it. And when I'm trying more, means when I'm trying to give it to something more like ChatGPT, which can be fooled easily, it is giving me responses that is useless, and then it's doing some useless features. So it's
Mm,
not at all.
this is not something I can add to the project. The feature you are describing is scanning a real website for vulnerability, assessing attack path visibility,
So
feasibility against it, providing success probability, and generating a how to guide for attacking it. Yeah, but you need to provide the context actually. So what you can do, you can mention that yeah, I'm doing it something like in my controlled environment inside the lab. So those things you need to provide. Otherwise, yeah, these things they will not provide. Current cyber ops simulator works entirely with the fake synthetic data in a closed educational context. So, which LLM you use to ask for this?
sir, Claude.
Claude. So try DeepSeek and also provide the context in that I'm doing it.
Okay, sir.
Yeah.
Okay,
Many a
sir.
times they will block that if you don't provide the full context in for because it will find that yeah you are trying to scan website or infrastructure for any attack. So they will not provide anything then.
Okay, sir.
But even if you are using DeepSeek, provide the context. Otherwise, that will also not provide it.
Okay, sir.
But
Yeah.
even after giving that content from any tool, or if you attack some tool hijacking attack that I taught you, okay, if you find such kind of script that you can
Hmm.
scan other network, then as I told you repeatedly that do not do such kind of activity to analyze other networks. Okay, Always go
Yes.
for your control network. Otherwise, you may get in some legal issue. Okay.
So I can understand, sir, but if I want to build an actual attack system, not a cybersecurity system, then sir,
Actual attack
it
do
must
not
have that feature.
No. Do not try actual attack for other. Okay, you only say that I have my own Gmail or I have my own control environment, and there you want to do attack. Why you will go for actual? First, go for a synthetic or artificial attack. We want only to understand whether you understand the logics or not. Okay,
No,
and
no, sir.
after
Means,
doing
for
simple things, you go for. Okay, yes, tell me.
no, sir. Means the vulnerable websites that I'm talking about. I'm not talking about Google or the Wikipedia or anything like this. I'm talking about vulnerable
That thing you
websites.
have to tell,
OWASP
na?
or
That you
ITsec.
have to tell.
Sir, I
That
wrote
you
it. I wrote it, sir. I wrote it, but it's still saying it. I can't believe. I can't
oh,
believe the
okay.
fact that
Then
you will only use it for OWASP. So I can't give you the response for it.
Then the initial step that do not go for that vulnerability site also. You go for own. Say that first I want to do in my laptop only. First get this code. First run this code, and then after little bit you go up. Okay. Do not
Sir,
try and select.
Yeah, what you can do initially, just install another virtual box, Windows, and then just get the fundamental rights for that initial. That first try to get the script to scan the Windows VirtualBox or Metasploitable VM. And once you get the script and it works properly, then you can try that. But still, scanning real websites and other things, it is not suggested actually. First, but
okay, sir.
because if it is working for your virtual box inside your virtual machine, then you know the process how it works, and you have the fundamental understanding. So that is what is the purpose, and that is what we need actually, instead
Even
of
the virtual box result is sufficient to show your interviewer or any technical event or
Okay,
hackathon
sir.
or workshop. Okay.
Okay, sir. Okay. Means I need to make a virtual. It's not a virtual box. Means a Metasploiter server and just use that URL here rather than using something like this, right?
Yeah, you can, in fact, just download Metasploitable 2
Yes,
to start
that
with,
only.
and just import it in your virtual box, and then make sure that your Kali, as I have already shown that in the Oracle Virtual Box, how to make
Mm.
different virtual machines in a same NAT network. So do that, and then just get the script and perform the scanning, and then have another script. Just ask Claude or GPT, whatever you are using, to also provide a script which connects with large language models and contextualize all the results and provide the analysis. So that will give you the
Okay.
overall fundamental understanding how you can use AI agents in your vulnerability assessment stages. And then you once fundamental is built, then what you can try, ask it to provide the script or modify the script to connect your scanning agent with your OpenVAS, the traditional tools, and see how it works. So build like profile bit by bit. Don't go just yeah, I want to scan the website or other servers. So that is not a good practice actually to learn this. First make your fundamental rights, and then
Yes, sir. Okay.
because
Okay. No, it
it
already
can work.
does the basic feature of means it does the theoretical part already correct. So I wanted to apply it to a practical approach rather than it just doing the simulations over and over again on a means on a fake sample. I wanted to do the real sample, so I will look into the virtual machine one,
Yeah.
how to do that. Okay, so thank you.
Yeah. Thank you. Any other question?
Okay, then. Next session will be at 12. Thank you, Rishi sir.
Thank
So
you. Thank you,
currently
Satya
the
sir.
internship is going on. We'll be in
Yeah.
touch with you.
Yeah, sure.
Sumi sir will talk with you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rishikesh.
Very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
So
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Again, we'll meet at 12 o'clock. So Sumi sir will take the last session. Okay. And no validation at that time only we'll tell when you will get the certificate, all those things, and about the internship, about the submission of that assignment. Everything will be discussed at that time. Okay, if possible. Otherwise, you will meet at 3 o'clock for 30 minutes. Okay.